sets the standard, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think we all do set the standard, to be honest. And I think the indecent, inappropriate dressing, I think people applied to, depending on where you were going, where you were, and how you were dressed. So they wouldn't imagine that we're here on Men and you have no shirt and I have no top or no skirt, because then that'd be, it'd be questionable. The same way you can't go to a church and, you
Some people do that. Some people do that.
What church are you going to? But let's
that's a different
name and shame. Yeah. But I think people say indecent because it depends on where you are and how you dress. I think what the millennials and a whole generation have done is that they've taken what should be in the club to the church. They've taken what should be at the beach to the event at 3 p.m. During the day. So then it's like wrong place, wrong outfit.
Before I dress up, okay, the most important person I should be dressing up for is myself.
Yes.
So if I'm happy with it, then what's the problem? Because also I come from the school of thought that if you don't like it, don't look at it. Simple as that. So sometimes also for women, it could be looked at as from a point of jealousy. Where somebody looks and wishes they could dress like that, but because they can't, they start saying, oh, look, how can she wear such an outfit or something like that?
I look at it this way. If it's a couple, it's a man and a woman, and we see somebody indecent passing by, half the time if I'm a woman and women, we naturally tend to just not like other women, especially if your behind is standing in the right place and mine isn't, or the other way around. So I might say, look at how she's dressed. 9 out of 10, the men will,
because it's called a smart choice.
Is that a smart choice because you don't have an opinion about how she's dressed?
No, because you know that indecently dressed woman is going to go and you remain with your wife or your partner.
But guess what?
You have a lot of questions.
You don't mind looking at that indecently dressed woman.
For as long as she's, I told you, for as long as she's not your wife, she's not your girlfriend, she's not your sister, she's not your daughter, she's not your aunt.
Double standards.
She's not your mother.
Double standards. She's someone's mother, someone's child. If you don't think your daughter is worthy of wearing a bathing suit to a meeting, someone else's daughter should not be dressed like that.
No, but that's my opinion. Because somebody else has seen their daughter do it and they're okay with it.
Women dress also for the guys. I'll be honest.
Yes.
Don't kill me.
So okay, but hold on. Are you then saying it's the guys who make?
That's what I've been trying to tell you this whole time. You don't make us dress indecently, God forbid, but you encourage it in some instances.
Nobody's got a gun to their head. Huh?
You can encourage something in different ways. You can encourage. Listen, if you take the girl home the way she was dressed, she's going to assume that's how you like it.
The male species is a very interesting species. The male species, contrary to popular belief, is, people say, oh, women are the ones who like flowers, they like all that stuff. But men also get attracted to what they see. We're very visual creatures.
Yes.
But one of the greatest challenges, okay, and you've seen there have been issues where somebody meets a girl in a pub, okay, she's all dressed all skimpily and everything.
Yeah.
When she becomes his girlfriend, he doesn't want her dressing like that.
He's saying cover up.
Exactly.
So why the double standards? Why encourage it on one end and then feel the need to not encourage it on one end?
Because it was to serve a purpose.
What purpose was that?
She was looking for a mate, and she got a mate. Now that the purpose is served.
So you look for a mate in booty shorts?
Well, it works. There are very many ways of doing it. Welcome back from the break. In case you've just joined us, you have missed the start of your favorite show, and that is Men. As we promised, we are back with a bang, and we are here to take the issue of indecent dressing head on. Now, just before we went into the break, Flavia was going on and on and on, championing women. Breathe in, breathe out. Banji, welcome to the show. Good to have you here, sir.
Thank you, Peter.
Yes, as always, we do appreciate it. Now, in the first part of the show, Flavia was going on and blaming men for the indecent dressing that we are seeing. I come from the school of thought that, first of all, as I mentioned earlier, I believe a woman's greatest enemy is her fellow women. Okay. Because women, even you see it, every woman is actually the best dressed woman. Okay, you know why? She will look at another woman and say, how can she wear that? I would never wear that. A man will never look at another man and say, oh, Why is he wearing what he's wearing? We don't care. We move on with our life. If you don't like it, you don't look at it. But a lot of women do dress for other women to show off. Okay, I mean, you see it when in their functions and all that stuff. Women are the first ones to go through the local tabloids to look for pictures.
A woman is half naked for a fellow woman? No. Don't answer that. Go on.
So, Benji, help me and rather this. In your opinion, first of all, who sets the standard to decide what is decent and what's indecent? Should it be the women to sit and say, look, as women, we think a skirt above the knees is indecent, or we think wearing 6-inch heels is indecent? Who should be setting the standards?
Well, I think Flavia has done a very good job in defending the women. But honestly, I think there are two views here. And I'm going to look at it from the selfish view as a man, and the functional view as a human being.
Okay.
Now, from the selfish view as a man, of course, as you alluded, men are normally visual beings. So if I want to understand the woman next to me, I think some indecency will do a good job. Okay? Yes. And it will do a good job. That is from the selfish point of view.
Understand her.
Yes, from the selfish point of view. But once I have understood the woman, then she should cover up a little bit. Yes. Okay, that is from the selfish view. Yeah. But from the human point of view, then we look at it from the African versus the European or Western kind of thing. If what should be the dress code of an African woman? And I think we will say it depends. Is she an urban woman? Is she a rural woman? Is she a mother? Is she, you know? So all those kinds of things. Therefore, society has left it up to the woman really to decide. Because again, the whites have made it very difficult for us. When you point to what the woman is putting on, she will say, it's my right to choose.
Choose what to wear.
So because of these issues, then now the man has remained to be an observer.
A selfish observer. Go on.
Yes, probably selfish observer, but also a
social
observer.
Opinions are not being taken.
Yes, yes, because when you comment, they will say, but this is fashionable.
Yeah.
Why are you fighting against it? It's fashionable.
Against fashion.
So, yeah, it's fashion. It's trending.
Yeah, okay, but just if I may take it now from the selfish point of view, is it okay for a man to decide, especially for his wife or his girlfriend, what she should wear? Because you heard that common saying when somebody starts telling his wife that, don't you know you're somebody's wife? Especially when
it's a start of many problems.
Yes.
Well, I think it depends on your woman and how the maturity and the situation, the circumstance in which you are. I personally, if I'm going to see my parents, I may throw in suggestions. Yeah. You know, because I know probably they are conservative to a certain degree. So I say that because I want to go there and market her, they look at her as you know. So as a good catch. Yeah. So I will give suggestions and say, you know, they would expect this, they would expect this, but the final decision will be hers. Okay.
You're very liberal.
Yes, it will be hers.
If she decided to then wear the jeans and the
jeans and the what?
You still take her.
Yes, I take her, but she's my woman. I married her when she was like that. So
you accepted?
Yes, I accepted.
Good one. He says I married her when she was like that.
Yes, I accepted. So that would beat. But generally, I think the woman should choose, and I would believe that she would be reasonable enough to choose what is appropriate. And I think that's where the problem is. Yeah. That's what defines the difference between appropriate and
are we not choosing
inappropriate.
The right way?
I think the choice, especially for certain sections of the ladies, has been influenced by Western, you know, Western kind of fashion. Yeah. So that the African values have gone down. Really because when you choose what to dress, again in Africa, what we call I is not me as a person. It is we. In Africa, a person is defined by the society they come from.
Yeah.
So whatever you do should be for the good of the society. Your individual position is defined by the position of your society. Yeah. That's why, for instance, if we saw a lady in a gomesi, probably would point to a particular tribe. Yes. Because we have known that tribe for putting on gomesis. Yeah. Another one puts on suit. Another one puts on saris. So the dressing, therefore, because now
but saris are kind of indecent, you know.
Really?
They show a lot of yeah.
Where they could be indecent now for you because you are
eyes know where the holes are.
But again, probably because that is not that could be from a different culture a little bit than probably yours or the one you are brought in.
Let me ask you, Banji.
Yes.
This skirt I'm wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. I have now.
No, I can't even. Yeah. Okay, you've analyzed. Let's not go. It's a puffy skirt. It has covered everything that I need to cover. If a man walked in, if he wanted to, would he not perceive this as indecent? Because I'm meant to think that men's perceptions, whether you're dressed in a gomesi, they'll see through the gomesi. They have superpowers to see through.
The man's eye is always analyzing. So it's always analyzing. If the man walked in now, I think you are decent.
He's not saying you are. He said he thinks.
Yes.
Do you see how you guys are to blame?
No, Peter, don't misquote me. I think, and this is my opinion.
Yes.
Because now she put me in the position of that man, and I'm saying I think if I were that man,
you would think it's decent.
It is decent. Okay.
But Banji, now you know you brought up a very interesting thing. Then isn't it then very dependent on how the woman carries herself? And I'll tell you why. If a lady walks through that door, okay, straight in, she's in a very short skirt. She comes and sits with her legs like this, okay. Another lady walks in through that door with the same dress and sits like this. Okay.
Why would she even be sitting like that?
Just hear me out. So is the dressing indecent, or is it the person who's indecent? Because you see, I think it has got a lot to do with the person who's wearing it and how they carry themselves. Because just like you mentioned, I can wear a gomesi flowing all the way till there, but when I'm walking with it, I pull it up until here. So the clothing is not indecent, but the way it's being carried is indecent. So the person is the indecent.
I've been trying to say this the whole time. It's the men's perception that is creating this whole discussion. The girls are dressing, okay, the ones who do dress indecently to a point where we can all complain, will tell you they're doing it because the guy thinks it's sexy. So if you can change your perceptions, the quicker the puffy skirts and the gomeses will come in. Yes. Are you going to change your perception anytime soon? No.
But is it or is it not sexy? It is, right?
So, Peter, to pick from there,
yes.
I think it is both.
Yeah.
You can put on a decent dress and then turn it indecent. Okay? The way you wear it, the way you take it. Because the way you have demonstrated, now, if if a lady walks in and then she sits with her legs closed, okay, the dress, let us assume that the dress is around the knee.
Yeah.
She sits with the legs closed, then she will appear decent. But then if she opens the legs, it depends which direction the legs are open. If it is on the desk,
I give up.
She's still decent. But then, in your position there, it's another story. And then I want to pick what Flavia has said.
Yes.
That men we encourage indecency.
With your perception.
And this is I think it's the thing that the ladies have not understood. At what stage does the man encourage the indecency and where? Because if the man says still dating and he takes you to the beach, then I think he would prefer a biological man, a biologically functioning man would prefer that. But
yes.
But if you have gone beyond the stage of dating and now you have reached that stage of seriousness.
She should wear sweaters to the beach.
No, she should. Then she should not wearing sweaters. She should begin to define, because my thinking would be that if a mother went to the beach, the dress code should be different from a single lady. It's still beach wear, but a little bit different. Okay? If a granny went to the beach, the dress code ideally should be a replica of grannyship. You understand?
So all the girls who are indecent right now are single and searching. So
not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
But you know, the thing is, I agree with Banji a lot, and I'll tell you, I'll give you a simple example. You talked about in the appropriate place. There are certain things that women wear at home, okay, in the bedroom,
yes,
which are very decent for that setting. But you can't have visitors in the sitting room and you come out in your lingerie, and suspa. Now that's indecent, all right. So I think there's a time and a place for everything. And so I dare say the indecency is brought about by the ladies, the way they carry themselves. Because if you carry yourself in an indecent manner, then the clothing, so you can't blame the clothing, because the clothing is there, it's not doing anything.
But also to defend the women, I think also the men should also be blamed. Because, I mean, why are you looking there?
Thank you. Hey! Hey!
Why are you looking there? If she's half naked, unless you want us to be like a certain country where I read today, and they have introduced, of course, they are trying to control Islamic extremism, so they have banned face covering. But that is a dictatorship country. It's known for being a dictatorship country. A country like Uganda, if you say you are introducing a public dress code across the country, then we may have a...
Wish you good luck with that.
Yes. So I think sometimes it's also about the man. What is the mindset of the man?
But don't we have the power of choice? I mean, we know what is decent. I mean, you've seen it especially at these teen events. I mean, for example, the ones that are at Katikati. The kids leave home, they're very well dressed, all right? They get to Lugogo Mall.
Then things change.
They're in the toilets, changing into very skimpily dressed things. Then when they leave, they go back, change into their jeans and everything, and go back home.
Because they think it's what's deemed to be cool. Do you see what I mean?
But who's setting the
no, I think now there you are bringing a challenge of probably, and the parents will forgive me, a problem of parenting and upbringing. Because if they left home dressed, let us say decently, then they go and change into indecent dressing. Then there is a problem. Otherwise, if you're a parent, you would expect your child to walk out of the house and say, today I am going to club, and you see her go in that dress. You
wouldn't approve as a parent.
If she's going to club and that is the way of club.
No parent is going to approve their child
and that's where the problem is, because then this poor girl will be walking on the street indecent, and then she will be captured in a certain newspaper, and then the parent will be embarrassed. So why don't you do it at home so that you... Yes,
you can't encourage
train them
the way they should be.
Yes, train them. And by the way, Flavie, to train that child, you have to reflect on yourself. What is your dress code?
Listen, some of the most decently dressed parents have very rowdy children.
Yes, I was about to say that. You know, there are other influences from school,
TV,
from friends,
music videos,
that kind of thing. Where such that. Like, I grew up in a very strict home where even a haircut was a challenge, okay? You could not have a box haircut. So my dad would kill you, okay? But we still had them, and we didn't get that from him. So sometimes you get these things from other places. Yes. However, we do need to go into a break. When we come back, I know Flavia feels like there have just been rocks that have been being thrown at her.
I was hoping for men to say, we're sorry, our perception will change. Didn't get that.
It's not about to change. However, one of the things which we also do need to tackle when we get back is the fact that do men also dress indecently? Because we can point all the fingers at women, but there's some men who also do dress indecently. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. In case you just joined us, we're here at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel, and we are talking about indecent dressing. Now, we've been talking about women and how indecent they can be and all that. So Flavia is feeling like all the stones are being thrown at her.
Yes.
So we are also going to talk about men. You've seen it. You had started getting more energized about how men can sit and women can't
Men have no shame. Okay? If I wore the tightest jeans in my closet and I came to the show, you are my colleagues, but you will look at me in a certain way. And a man will wear the tightest jeans. And you know the anatomy of a man. It's, yeah. So it's kind of hard to focus. And then when they sit, they don't sit in a decent way.
So women also ogle at men. That's what you're saying.
We're not ogling at you, but you've put it out there. Right. And then unlike okay, when the women wear something tight, they might look nice. There's a percentage that will look sexy and nice before it starts to look a bit uncomfortable. For the men, at all times, you're uncomfortable looking at this man.
I'll tell you, there's a lady I know who always looks at her husband and is a bit concerned when he wears tight jeans and says that's her stuff. That's not
exactly, because it's like out there. So I'm telling you.
But so, are you saying that a man in tight jeans is indecently dressed? But doesn't that go back to what
inappropriately?
But doesn't that go back to what Banjo was saying? Don't look.
Yeah, but yeah, it's different. I'll wear tight jeans and I'll wear a loose-fitting top. So unless I turn around and you see something different, you wouldn't really think about it. Men are not made that way. Men, you're flat-chested and until that point. So if you have tight jeans and then you tuck in, hey, boss, what's happening? It's uncomfortable.
But now that one really is showing that the indecency depends on the person who is looking.
No!
Yes, because now you are saying a man, we have been bombarding you saying A, B, C, D. Now you are bombarding the man saying, now stop it. Yeah. So now, for me, I see now the problem is in the person who is looking. And I want to take you back to the first opinion I presented. What is the intention of looking?
Okay.
Yes, because the intention of looking
what are you looking
determines what you look for.
Yeah.
Okay, it determines what you look for. So, but I think Flavia is really right. There are a number of men who are really indecently dressed. You've seen some of us when we have gotten a little bit of resources and we have developed you know, a stomach and someone tucks in and the shirt is hanging
and the belt
and you know,
you can actually see the belt sometimes.
Even as a man, you look at him and you are like,
what's wrong?
Mister, can you do something about this?
It's uncomfortable.
I think it's uncomfortable, but because you're a man, you may not dig deeper than you would do it if it were a woman.
Let's create a rule. If you're a man and you tuck in and your belt disappears, when I look at you straight, I don't see your belt buckle. There's a problem. There's a problem.
But everything is covered. So how can that be indecent?
A shirt too tight that your tummy literally falls on your belt buckle?
Yes.
You could wear a fitting shirt and life could move on. Why must you cinch everything in?
Well, what if, if I may take it in all fairness, what if this man's better half likes him that way?
I'm here to defend women, so I'm not sure I should go in on that one. But listen, most cases, it's the first thing they ask when a woman walks out dressed indecently, as the society claims it. If she looks a bit young, in her early 20s, they'll say this girl is spoiled. If she's in the other age bracket, they'll go like, whose woman is this? Because they're wondering which man is saying, it's okay, babe, you look nice, right? Then if she's much older, it's different. Now for a man who's older, when you walk out dressed in those tight jeans, very weird looking tight jeans, they're saying, but the woman didn't exactly. So no one has ever said, oh, the woman likes her man in nice tight shirts. No, they always say, but which woman allowed this to happen?
Then should a man decide what his woman wears.
Listen, if my partner said, and I thought it's the most decent, appropriate skirt I was wearing to our dinner, and my partner turned and said, "Oof, are you comfortable in the waistline?" And you're like, "Yeah." It's like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
I'll read it. I'll go like, "Okay, you know what? Maybe I don't look as nice as I should look, right?" And I'll go change it. But listen, do you realize that I have ceased to wear the skirt for me? I am now wearing it for my partner.
But let's be honest. How many women will listen to what the women
Listen,
will wear? What
there are many words.
anyway.
There are many words between "Are you sure?" to me changing. Whether you like the words I have used, that's another discussion. I will have yelled. I will have thrown a tantrum. But if I respect you enough, I'll go change. So it's always about you.
No, I think sometimes it's about the way you've been talking previously before the dressing.
Yeah.
How do you know there is talking with someone and there is throwing words on someone.
Jabs, yeah.
Jabs.
Look at you.
This is a show of men. So if it is your woman, the way you bring it should also
be different.
Should be polite, should be sexy, it should be,
If
it were your daughter, then the approach would also be different. But I think sometimes you can be polite but firm. And say, you know what, where we are going, this one, we shall go, but very many eyes will look at you.
Let me tell you the problem, Banji. If you have a partner and you go out, women, we see everything. We see the girl you looked at while she was walking. We see the girl you were pretending to not look at. Listen, if I'm out with my boyfriend, right, and he's sitting next to me, and you think I am watching the waiter and the drink, my friend, I'm... And then 5 girls have gone through. I've seen you. When the girl who's dressed nicely in a nice dress passes, boy. The one who's dressed in little shorts, and you're like, ooh. I will take note. And in my mind,
I don't see other women. I don't see anything.
And I'm so proud of you that you don't see other women. Yeah, let's leave him for that. Then I will think, perhaps it's what he likes. Perhaps it's his tight tops that turn him on. Perhaps he thinks it's nice. And I might follow suit.
Now, the question is, the man might be looking there, but actually he's not interested in what he has seen. He's actually
He's
in shock.
This is shock.
He's analyzing the problem which has passed in front of him.
This is shock. That's shock. This is not shock. Then even this part goes this side. That's not shock, my friend.
But that's just a disrespectful man.
I mean,
my friend, if
a sharp guy knows how to look at these things.
Listen, a sharp woman knows how to see a sharp guy's eye. Boss.
Okay.
So you've raised the point. You're saying if the man is looking there, then you want to bring what he's looking at in his house.
If your perception of nice are those indecent, what I call indecent women, but according to you, sexy women, and I, as your partner, want to look sexy for you, you won't blame me if one day I throw in shorts.
Well, but you see, the thing is, why don't you ask? Yes, just ask.
What? No. What's the question? What is the question in this case?
Just ask, honey, do you like
such a thing?
So that's what? We bring them home? No, guys.
Not the girls. I'm taking the clothing.
Oh, right.
But again, I think I think Flavia has taken it to the extreme.
No,
because
no.
There is somewhere where you said that women, the greatest enemy for a lady when it comes to dressing is a fellow woman, and she has just pointed to it. Yes. It's that competitive spirit. Because now when the bunch is looking at those passing women, the woman, his lady is saying, those ones want to steal my thing. Yeah. I have now to put concrete around it.
Yes.
So she will also look at those skirts. Then tomorrow,
yeah,
you
I'll
see
go
them.
work out aerobics.
But the problem with that is you might have misread my looking. Okay, because my looking could have been out of surprise, out of shock. You know, a sudden something happening, and you're like, oh, is that also still being done? Then she has read that. You like it. Then the next day you are going somewhere and you see the same thing. Seriously.
Then again you're shocked.
Seriously. Indecent dressing is a big problem. It's a very big problem. And the challenge is that sometimes people will see you indecently dressed and they will not even tell you. Even your friends. They will tell you. They will even, by the way, Flavia, they will even tell you, oh, you look hot. Nice. You look nice. Then when you've passed, they are like, look at that.
But it's good that you've mentioned that. I mean, let's now talk about the work setting, because, you know, there's like Dress Down Friday, where everybody is allowed to wear what they, because of course most offices have their code of ethics.
Yes.
But you see, for men, Dress Down Friday is a little bit tricky. I know there have been situations where a man will wear like a muscle shirt, and then all the women are like, especially the older women, how can he wear something like that? Yeah. He's deemed as indecent.
Yes.
But as Manji said, what are they looking at? But the ladies are usually the biggest culprit of Dress Down Friday, because that's when all the low-cut tops come out. Like right now, it's been very warm. They say, oh, I don't know whether it gets hotter on Friday than the rest of the week. But somehow
it's Dress Down Friday.
Yeah, so all the see-through stuff comes through. Should workplaces set standards?
Most of them have set the standard, or as you said, ethics. You know, you can't dress beyond. Sometimes they might not say, but the day you do, I mean, the HR will walk to you and say, maybe that doesn't work.
What if HR is a guy? And he's like, cool.
Perception. I'm winning at this.
Yes, but I think most organizations, the formal ones, they have a strict dress code. Although again, when you look at the dress code, you know, the dress code of a workplace should be also flexible. It should keep changing. It should capture the new trends. Yes, it shouldn't be static. But what I know, like for government workers, there is a specific dress code. You don't go.
I think on colors.
Yes,
well.
you know, a man, you must be in a tie, you must be in a jacket. A lady, you must be in a dress or a skirt. So the trousers are no go in public service. Of course, the private employers, the dress code might be a little bit different. Now, self-employed, yet they are the majority.
Yes.
Okay. Yet they are the majority. But also, you see also the issue of if we have to set dress code at the workplaces. Again, it goes back to the payment. What are you paying for me to afford what you want me to put on?
But actually,
you mean decent clothes are expensive?
No, not necessarily.
I was just about to say something. Banjide, I don't agree with you, because from my experience, the more indecent, somehow, I don't know how the mathematics works, but the shorter, the more expensive.
The less the material,
the more
expensive. Yes.
Now, Flavia, there were those postings that we had on social media. Your thoughts, if you could kindly take us through them, because you see, one of the things that when we posted the question on both Twitter and Facebook, a lot of people were up in arms and they were just busy throwing jabs and saying one or two things. Now I remember one of the things that came up was the issue of the Igbo chief.
Saying that the African culture, there were people who were shirtless without tops for a long time back in the day, and they were Africans. And they're saying that, you know, how are we evolved to now wear clothes, and now we start picking at those who have gone back to the, you know, culture. But there were most people actually on social media who were saying that it depends where you are. You cannot be wearing what looks like a bikini, and you're in the midst of people who are wearing suits. You understand, and decent clothes. So it's just to know what you're wearing and where you're wearing it to. But of course, the biggest thought was that we're just picking pieces. You know, Rihanna, Beyonce wore this on her concert, so it fits me, I will wear it. So we've picked, you know, trends that don't necessarily, and maybe we don't know where to put the trends.
If you go to a boxing match, the man basically comes in shorts. He's not indecent. That is the attire for
For the sport.
For the sport.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think Flavia has made a very important point. The dressing should be determined by where you are going.
Yes.
And of course, where you are going in what kind of society. And I would like to segregate society on a number of issues. Is it rural or urban? Is it religious or not religious? Is it a party or another kind of event? So they will determine the dress code.
Now, based on that, because also one of the things that I picked off on our Facebook page was there was this talk of not of social media, this talk of indecent dressing being a reason for women being attacked.
Yeah, and being raped.
And being raped.
Yeah.
Is that justifiable? Can somebody say, hey, you know what, it was your fault because you were dressed in, I mean, hey, I couldn't resist.
You know, this is such a sensitive subject, to be honest, which is why I tried not to actually say it directly and say many people have been raped, and the excuse is that, but really what you were wearing, you know, made me get to this point. Many people said that, and some actually said, if you're putting it out there and the guy is seeing rape, there's no excuse for rape.
True.
Because really, we've seen rape cases where somebody was dressed indecently, another indecent. It really doesn't have anything to do with that. Which is why I thought the sounding thing that I take from all of this is perception. If you don't perceive women in a certain way, it doesn't matter what she's wearing. You as Peter, you respect yourself enough to respect women in a certain way. Whether she's wearing booty shorts, a long dress, hijab, your values and your perception is different. So if we all perceive women in a certain way and perceive each other in a certain way, it's what will reflect. You understand? So if you say, me, I respect myself and I respect a woman, you could come to me dressed in a certain way. I will hear you out, your reasoning and whatever you have to say, and that is it.
I think the dressing of the woman or the man shouldn't cause you to especially the woman, shouldn't cause you to rape them. I think
or disrespect them in any way. Yeah.
Because we've seen women who are indecently dressed when they are passing a group of men. They make all sorts of, you know, either sounds or gestures, or they send abuses. Again, when you are sending the abuse, I mean, you are also not reflecting on good values as a person.
That's true.
Okay? Instead of abusing, whistling, or whatever, you should be giving a positive comment that, you know what you put on today, you may think you are smart.
But it's none of your business.
And that is the problem.
It's a society.
And
it's
that's
your
the
business.
problem. And Peter, that's where I started from. I said, for us in Africa, the me is us.
All of us, yeah.
Okay? The me is us. And you see, when you say it is not your problem, then why are you saying that they are indecently dressed?
Yeah, it's our problem.
It's our problem.
Yeah.
If you feel that they are indecently dressed, give it to them. Yeah. Okay? you might say someone is indecently dressed here, but someone tells you, I am on my way to the beach.
Yeah, by the way. Yeah.
Yes. So I think we need to be very considerate, and we need to be humane. We need, these are some of the values again we have lost. The typical African used to look after the neighbor and would be concerned, because even then, even when we go to the time when our grandfathers were putting on back cloth, still even within the back cloth there was appropriate and indecent dress.
Imagine.
Because the back cloth was supposed to hide certain things. If it didn't hide them, then your neighbor would tell and say, you know what, rearrange it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this is
the clothes or
the clothes, the back clothes,
or
that, you know, it does its work.
All right, guys, now we've reached that point in the show where we do have to wrap up. Without a doubt, indecent dressing is a very thorny subject. Everybody doesn't know how far we have gone and how far we need to go. So we'll start with you, Banji. In just a few words, your parting shot.
What we need to understand is that dressing is functional. It depends on where you are going. And sometimes you may see someone walking on the street, because now society now is mobile, is fluid. I might be going to a distant place, but this is the attire I have to go with. So I think we need to understand that, and then when we are choosing what to put on ourselves, we should also keep in mind where we are going. on the side of men, I think Flavia probably has opened our eyes that also the men, we sometimes we are indecent, so we need to check ourselves. And the good thing really, we in Uganda we are still lucky. Most people stay 2, 3, 4, or you have neighbors. I think if someone says you are indecent, you should check twice before you leave.
And don't take it the wrong way.
Yes, and don't take it personally. I think that's my opinion.
Flavia, breathe in, breathe out.
I actually totally agree with a lot of what you said. Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, as women, we do follow a lot of trends. Unlike men, you only get shirts, trousers, and jackets. That's about it. We get so many options of what to wear, and so many trends keep changing. I don't mind a woman looking sexy. I think it's a beautiful thing for a woman to look sexy. I would say let's pick and choose where we're going and what we're wearing, if we can. But if, according to you, what works for you is that you would rather dress a certain way, then own it. Don't then use it and say, people look at me a certain way. I think that the difference, men have bad perceptions. I've said this the entire show. If you can change that, we'll all be okay. But also women want to act like victims sometimes. If I've gone out, I know what I'm wearing. I can feel the wind just go by my thighs. That just means that nothing is covering my thighs. Then I say, why are you looking at my thighs? But they're there. So if we can just own up, if you know what you're wearing and you know where you've gone, nobody else is dressed like you, there's already a problem. So if you're dressed a certain way and you believe in how you want to dress as a woman, own it, accept it. But it would be nice if you knew where you're going and dress appropriately.
Now, you've had it. Mine is very simple. Your perception is your reality. The way you dress says everything about you, and whether you like it or not, you can't be able to sit there and say, oh, you know what, if given a chance to speak and I'm a bright person, or I'm able to, you're just judging me.
How did they not know I was smart?
Exactly. It's
the package.
This is the package. What people see is what it is. So we want to thank you for having been here with us tonight. We've had a great show. People have gotten very excited. They can now breathe in and breathe out. Join us next week again at the Sheraton Kampala Hotel as we give you another episode of Men.